Hi, and welcome back to week 5. My name is Mandy Johnson. I am a physical therapist, and over to my left here is Tammy, lovely gal who has an exponential knowledge of all things nutrition related, biochemistry. And we're back with you today to talk about depression and the role that exercise and actually nutrition can play in depression. So depression is actually one of those occurrences that you see in a lot of different people. It affects about 6% of the U.S. population each year, and about 10% of us throughout our lifetimes. So it's something that you probably know someone intimately that has had depression or will be getting depression, and it's something that we just all need to be aware of, the different aspects of how what we put into our bodies and what we do with our bodies actually can influence the episodes of depression, and actually make us more likely or less likely to get them. So I'm going to quick run through a couple of the different aspects of how exercise works with depression and how it can help it, and then I'll hand it over to Tammy. So what a lot of people don't realize is that exercise is actually in research seen as beneficial for treating depression as what they call selective serotonin uptake inhibitors. So that just is something like Prozac. So going for a little jog is essentially like taking some Prozac for your brain, without any of the additional things like decreased sex drive. And, no one just goes for a run and catches a rash or has, something that actually impacts other aspects of your life. So running and walking, both of those are seen as equally beneficial. So there's been multiple research studies looking at if we have you work out at a heart rate that's at this point of getting you up to that level of aerobic fitness, or just going for a good walk, and they're actually both about the same. So if you can make that time, and that's the big part, again, is going back into sitting down, reflecting back, making those goals for yourself. If you feel yourself in that, like cycling towards that depressive episode, making that time for yourself to take those walks, to, start going back to the gym, that is really where you can decrease a lot of your stress levels and actually release different chemicals within the brain that significantly help you to shorten that depression episode or prevent them in the future.
Nice. I love hearing that walking and running are essentially equivalent in what they do for the brain, because, man, I have to be honest, I hate running. Walking I'm good with. Lifting weights I'm good with. Running, I'm not a runner. So I like hearing that, taking my dog for a walk can give me the equivalent the equivalent chemical response in my brain. That's great to hear. That made my day.
Well, good. I'm happy to have made your day at least. Hopefully multiple others.
Exactly. But if you like running, that doesn't mean slow down. Keep running.
Yes.
Keep running and being happy with the running you're doing. Keep working toward that, that 5K or that, half marathon or that marathon that you're working toward, because I bow down to you. I'm impressed if you can run more than 5 feet. So keep working on that. So good. So is there any research on different types of exercise and, different benefits from different types of exercise?
Yeah, actually, there are several different research articles that look at that. And just to give you the short of it, no, it doesn't matter. Like it can be lifting weights, it could be walking, it can be running. So running and walking, what I used as examples, because anybody can do that. You don't have to have a fancy gym membership. You can just walk outside your door with weather appropriate clothing and hit the pavement, as it were. But, especially looking into different programs like, CrossFit is definitely one of those things that a lot of people have heard about. And that is really an interesting dynamic where you look at basically that's creating a really great community. So not only are you getting, and this is more theorizing, but not only are you getting the great benefits of exercise and helping treating your depressive episode and future depressive episodes and preventing them, but you're also getting that community component and, you know, creating those connections, because those human connections are really important to who we are. You know, it's not necessarily sitting down in front of the TV and letting your brain unwind. It's actually getting that connection with another human being and allowing them to help you unwind and untangle the things that are bothering you and that can help pull you into those depressive episodes. So that's not saying that everybody needs to join CrossFit, but just if you have a group, so maybe that's your walking group or your running group, or you know, maybe it's your Zumba group that you really enjoy and you just relate to them. Those are can be really additional value points in that starting that exercise program to help treat your depression. And they can be that person that gets you out there. Like, oh man, there was this great little suggestion actually that, you know, if you have a hard time getting to the gym, have a friend that also has a hard time getting to the gym, you exchange shoes, right shoes. So if you don't show up, that person doesn't have the right shoe. And if they don't show up, you don't have your right shoe. So, you know, just, you know, finding workarounds of your own like mental processing, like you know that you're just that type of person that's not going to take the time for yourself. Maybe you'll take the time for someone else. And that's why you exchange shoes.
That's excellent. So, I love that. I love that. And I do have, yeah, that's good. I do have to say I enjoy being around other people and having that camaraderie of, you know, being at a gym and being able to work out together and cheer each other on. And I'm definitely competitive with myself, but I'm a little competitive with other people as well. As I come up on 49, we have a couple of ladies that are over 50, and I watch what they're doing, and they're moving faster than I am with some of the how they pick up exercises and stuff. And it definitely pushes me a little bit more to say, okay, I used to be the oldest one at the gym, and now I've got 3 ladies that are older than me, and they're doing, you know, one of them has been there 3 months and is already working on handstand push-ups. It took me 5 years to get there.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, wow.
It is. So it's good because it pushes me, and I definitely enjoy it. So excellent. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition and depression. So one thing I want to do is we're going to be talking a little bit in the next few sessions about the microbiome. So I want to do a quick introduction of what that means. In general, microbiome means the bacteria in our body or on our body. So it includes the bacteria that are on our skin that are supposed to be there. These are what we call symbiotic bacteria. They're supposed to be there. They help to keep us healthy. They help, you know, other things from colonizing on our skin or colonizing in our gut. But over 90% of the genome or genes or DNA in our body, if you isolated all of what's in our body, over 90% of it is actually bacterial. Most of it is not us. Most of it is bacterial. And we evolved to have over 2,000 species of bacteria specifically in our digestive tract or our gastrointestinal tract. And as we evolved with an immune system. And they talked back and forth to the immune system, and they still do. They tag things, untag things, let the immune system know that this is okay, this is not okay. Because 70% of our immune system is actually in our gastrointestinal tract.
Wow.
So what the bacteria there do really controls what happens in the rest of our body. And as early as Hippocrates, which was in Greece thousands of years ago, he knew that there was some sort of relationship with the microbiome in our gut and our health. And he actually started looking a little bit at depression and why people got sad and could he change their food, because his main quote that everybody knows is, you know, let medicine be thy food and food be thy medicine. And so he started looking at how to change the diet to make us happier and make us more, you know, interactive with things. And how we've looked at the gastrointestinal tract, our microbiome, depression has gone up and down over the centuries, depending upon, different cultural pressures. But recently it's come back full force. And it's come back full force because we have a westernized diet, which is very high in carbohydrates, is very low in, and when I say carbohydrates, I don't mean carbohydrates from the foods that we eat that are natural, like vegetables and, fruits and different things like that. I'm talking about added refined sugars.
Right.
And because of that, what we're finding between that and antibiotics is that the number of different species of bacteria has gone down significantly. In the United States, the average person has 400 to 500 different species of bacteria in their gastrointestinal tract, when it used to be 2,000. And in different parts of the world, it can be very, very close to 2,000. And so we've seen an uptick of depression in Western society. And so this is where that whole probiotic craze came from, was actually treating of depression, is looking at, is looking at how can we fix this, because it's happening in all walks of life, at all ages. And so how can we do something for our, for our symbiotic bacteria, our friends who live in our gut, who keep us healthy in many different ways? What can we do to not only make them happy, but make us happy at the same time? And so that's where all of that came from. The probiotic and the prebiotic craze was originally to treat and look at depression and how we can make that better for people. And so, and next time you go to the store and you see a probiotic, think about, what do I need to do to make every part of my body happy? Whether it's the 10% of the DNA that's me, or, the 90% that happens to be the bacteria that live on me, that live in me, that are supposed to be there, that are supposed to keep me happy and healthy. And we know that, having low nutrient value, high refined sugars is something that helps to remove different types of bacteria or increase different types of bacteria in our gut. So by, increasing or decreasing certain species, then if they're talking to our immune system in our gut, they're also talking to our whole body. And so they're sending signals to the brain that the happy bacteria are not happy right now, or are gone, or need to be replenished. And our brain is trying to tell us something is wrong and we need to fix that balance in our body.
And so you're saying the balance is not restored through going through the drive-through?
It is not. It is not. Generally, drive-through meals have high salt, very high refined sugar. Sometimes you don't even know what's in your food. Even the salads through drive-throughs are not healthy because they have a tendency to put sugars on them and salt on them, because the sugars make you want to eat more and the salts make you thirsty, which means instead of the small soda, you're going to get the extra large soda because you're now thirsty because of the salt that's been added. So,
well, and then you're being super healthy and you're having a salad, so why not get the extra large soda?
Exactly. Make it the diet soda. And that'll make it better. So, there's definitely a lot to think about next time you sit down and, even going through the drive-through. Are there healthy choices? Can I get apple slices instead of fries? And different things like that. So it's good to understand and, how to think about your food and how to get better. Now, we've talked about before, I definitely believe in moderation. I'm not saying if you ever go through a drive-through again in your entire life,
you're doomed.
You're doomed. But think, how often do you go through? Because sometimes we have to. Sometimes, I know, Mandy, you and I travel with the family and with the kids. And if you're in the car and you've run out of food and you're hungry and the kids are hungry,
Right.
you have one choice: get food before there's
yeah.
a meltdown. And I'll be the first one to admit I'm going to melt down if I don't have food a long time before anybody else does. So there are times where you have to, and if you're in the middle of nowhere, the only exit may be a convenience store or a gas station that has a fast food place attached to it, and that might be your only option, which is fine. That's good. Fueling your body is always good, but in moderation.
Yeah. And so I think it's important to keep in mind that a partially checked box is still a check box. All life is nuanced. You can't make rules for yourself that don't allow for some nuance, for some real life to happen. And so if you're not able to meet, say, whatever you've decided is your goal for the day, or you set your goal for the week, don't beat yourself up about it. Just say, like, this is intentional, like, this is where I'm at right now. And then, even the following meal, like maybe that's lunch and this is what you have. Don't just go down that road for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. Really be intentional about, like, allowing yourself that grace that you can have that one meal or those few meals, and like you're on vacation, this is where things are at, or your week's really busy, your husband's out of town and you've got the kids by yourself. There's, like, life happens. Cereal is eaten for dinner. So
it is. It definitely is sometimes. I would agree with that.
So you just, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace as you go through. Health is not something that has arrived to overnight, and it is hard work.
Exactly. Exactly. And the same goes for exercise. If you can't make it for your walk today, or you can't make it to the gym today, that's okay. That's today. Yeah. What's going to happen tomorrow? And there are definitely days, or definitely weeks, where I don't get to the gym as often as I would like. And I used to beat myself up about it. And you're right. You can't. You just have to say, what am I going to do with this tomorrow to make it better?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Agreed.
Excellent.
Well, with that, we're so glad that you joined us. Hopefully that was enlightening, and you can take some of that knowledge and put it into your next coming week. So we'll see you again next time for another healthy discussion.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.